All right, so I want to give you guys a rundown on the rods I use on a daily basis, and so rods and reels. The rods I use, so they're kind of not too new, but they're not really well known down here in South Florida, and it's called the Trika rods. They're fully carbon. I mean, even the grips are carbon. Honestly, my favorite rods I've ever used. They say on their advertisements that it increases casting distance, and I will tell you, it does. And for someone like me who is throwing baits that are literally 2.5 inches long and 1/16 of an ounce, I can cast this thing a long ways on a rod that has enough backbone to pull snook out of the tree. I've caught some great fish on these rods. I have it paired on a Florida Fishing Products 2500 with 8-pound braid. The 8-pound braid on these rods is really just, it's killer. It's great. It works amazing. And I've never really had an issue with it being too light to where I break off a lot. I rarely break off on fish, especially not at the braid. I break off on the leader and stuff, but not on the braid. You have to order directly through them, which lowers the price of them actually for the consumer. For example, like, I don't want to throw any big names out there, but their rods, you're buying them from the Bass Pro Shops or a Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that, and you're paying more for the rod once you have to account for the shipping costs and the building costs and all that. With Trika, you're paying for, it's basically wholesale price is what you're paying for these rods. They are, I believe, the Trika, the 3X, so I have a lot of them. There's only 3 on the boat right now with me, but the 3X is their like base model, and that rod comes in at about $250, I believe, and their 6X, which it's very similar. It's a little bit more sensitive. It's got a little bit different guides. It's got a full carbon grip and everything. Their 6X is $350. Great rods. I'm not obligated to say this by any means. I've been using them for about 1.5 years now, probably a little bit more than that, and I haven't had 0 problems. I mean, yeah, these rods are great. I have on the boat with me right now, I've got, this is a 7-foot medium light, 4 to 10 pound. Line class, I got a 7.3, 8 to 17 pound. And then I've got a bait casting rod. This is the only bait caster I have from them, but it's a 7.3, 10 to 20 pound, and I have it paired on a Corrado. But plenty of backbone on these rods, super sensitive. I mean, you feel everything. I mainly use them in the backcountry out here. I'm in Flamingo today, but besides that, I've used them. I mean, I've used them in the patch reefs for mud and snapper. I've used them bonefish and permit. I've caught multiple permit on those 3Xs. I've caught a few on the 6Xs. Had a day out in Chokoloskee a few months ago, and we basically almost landed an 80-pound tarpon on the 7.3. On this rod right here, we almost landed a 70-pound, 80-pound tarpon. Had it next to the bow, and then it broke off at the end of the day, but great rods. I would really recommend them. And yeah, if you guys haven't heard of them or you haven't used them at all, I highly suggest picking yourself up some rods and using them pretty good.